I wrote a few tweets about this, but I want to make a video. Google Revolution is entirely a fascist cult. I'm not saying this lightly, like the way everyone calls anything they don't like fascism, but literally to the T, it's entirely psychologically fascist. And I'm going to explain why. I made another video explaining how the top layer triggers for fascist psychology are completely irrelevant and not required. Like, it's simply a historical incident that the first inception of fascism was in Germany. So the special oppressed classes were Aryans, right? The all good born that way, special immortal good class was an Aryan. It's because it happened in Germany after the Depression. And fascism is at its core a post industrial form of feudal psychology, right? How people in feudal systems think. Divine classes that can't be changed. You literally are born better or worse. And the king is immortal and super special and must be obeyed unquestioningly. And your power contingents on that. And society is a rigid triangle. So fascism is essentially a regression to a feudal-like state in a post-industrial society when there's some kind of social instability, such as the Great Depression, or in our case, constant, nonstop propaganda while they rob us blind. And basically, you enter a cult, which is pinging religious feudal brain and undoing all progress since the Industrial Revolution and the Enlightenment to become a sort of quasi feudal prole. It relies heavily on immutable classes that, with a religious like sheen, that it can only be this way because of good and evil. And the top is the most good, who literally never die and just get reincarnated. And everything in that society comes from them and their greatness. Great. That's fascism at its core. And the main thing to the elites, why they like fascism, why even in the first fascist revolution in Germany, the capital elites of Germany and the West helped Hitler rise to power, is that system helps preserve this. Communism and leftism wants to do this. Flatline, right? Fascism's like, I'm okay. This is great. This is perfection, right? And all the elites care about is keeping this. How power is conceptualized and distributed in a society. This is why whenever things are not going well, and it's potential that people are going to go with those guys, like, let's make power like this, they will help and encourage fascist psychology, right? Because they don't care what you're telling yourself, as long as you agree the divine triangle social power structure is fantastic. And psychological fascism is the best tool to do it. They deliberately miseducate you what fascism is at its core, which is basically a religious, spiritual cult delusion that the rigid classes of society are in your soul or in your genetic makeup, and actual acts don't matter, and the elites must be protected at all cost, and attributing them mythical qualities like reincarnating, being godlike, immortal. They don't care about the tools to get those delusions in place, as long as you have those delusions. And that is what psychological fascism at its core. If you are ascribing to a social concept with those properties, you are not leftist, you're not centrist, you're far right. Because feudal systems are far right. Fascism, which is a post-industrial form of a feudal society, is far right. And you're far right. Far right entirely, right? So I think about this a lot. Like, I wake up And they want me to spend time thinking about the attacks, which I view the attacks the way I look at my sister. Like, my sister drops her dogs off here, and she's got this one dog who's a really inbred Pomeranian, like bred for really weird traits. Like, I'm so ethically against breeding, man, but he's got like all this amalgamation of inbreeding traits from puppy mills, like really short legs. He can't climb stairs. Her Pomeranians, it's like they have no skull. It's creepy. Like, when I tried, she tells me to clean their eyes because their skull is so malformed that the tears just leak down their face. And then when you touch their face to clean it, there's no bone. Like, they literally are breeding these dogs so they have no skull, and it's just eyes bulging out. And anyway, she has this one Pomeranian born so many traits that just don't work together, but they ping cute. Like, he has his Pomeranian coat. Pomeranians always have lots of hair, but he has like double the amount of hair as a Pomeranian. So he looks like a big puffy circle, and he's got very short legs, and he's not neutered. So he's constantly marking things and peeing on himself. And I look at the things these people are doing to me very similar to how I look at this dog. Like, okay, this is an inbred Pomeranian that's marking everything because he's an unneutered male. Like, I don't think like, oh, peed on again. I think like, okay, this is just what this unneutered male animal can do and only do. Anything he sees, he's like, pee, pee, pee. He's very small, so it doesn't matter that much. I mean, it does matter. Like, I clean it, and I have to clean his marking up like 30 times a day. But like, it would be worse if he was larger and doing the same thing, right? And she won't neuter him because she has this delusion. His constellation of genetic defects are magically special, and she wants to sell him as a stud. It's crazy shit. Like, anyway, I conceptualize what these people do to me very similar to like looking at this dog. Like, they're reacting in an algorithm completely devoid of thought, and they're controlled, right? So I don't spend much time. I think instead, what I think all the time is like, wake up, look outside, see all the foreign plated luxury cars, and think to myself, the CIA, after they killed the last dying gasps of socialism and progressivism, found a bunch of really crazy kids and criminals and told them they were fighting Nazis by turning them into Nazis, turning them into psychological fascists. And these people who call themselves progressives literally draw triangles on shit and have no insight or no clue. You cannot be progressive if you're drawing triangles on shit. That just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It'd be like if I was calling myself a Christian and I was just like wearing Star of David's all day. It's like, you can't be a Christian if you believe in Yahweh and Judaism. It's just, no, those things can't go together. In a similar way, you can't be progressive if you're drawing triangles which symbolize by nature class inequality, social inequality, and the beliefs of the innateness and permanence of all of this on everything around you. But because they've spent decades making psychologically right progressive cults that are calling themselves progressive, but into their core fiber, they're fascist, if anything, they literally have no awareness of this. I want you to imagine in the 60s, when they actually did have real leftists and the communist world wasn't completely crushed yet, if the way they engaged in leftism was, or progressivism even, was serving the worst oppressors who view themselves as a mortal reincarnating good, complete nonsense, crazy shit, and attacking innocent people for special privileges and special lot, and they drew triangles all around wherever they went. Imagine that. I think about this literally every fucking day. Can you believe the CIA made a fake progressive group that's entirely psychologically fascist, and they don't think so? Key, like every key component of psychological fascism, these people embody. Um, one of the first traits is the eternality of good and evil, right? It's innate. It's something you're born into. Good and oppressed no longer means what you do or what was done to you. It's a class you're born into. They've been working on that for a while, right? To get people to conceptualize like immutable characteristics like race or being LGBTQ or being born Muslim, that by definition you're oppressed, right? It doesn't matter if you're like a billionaire or like killing people for fun. If you have those traits, you're oppressed. You're eternally oppressed. And good, like you have goodness in your soul. You really can't do evil. So just like among Nazis, this was true of the Aryan, right? So it didn't matter if a lot of Aryans were bankers fucking people over. They're eternally good. They can only be good. It's no other way possible. So the eternality of being good based on how you were born and characteristics you were born, regardless of what you do or dynamics of class are, is all a mindfuck to get you to not care about class and equality, view it as rights, right? And the eternality of bad and evil, right? So, for example, the eternal Jew is just a class that's a parasite hiding among the majority and in secret. It's always secret because, again, they don't want you to care about actual good and evil acts, but this soul quality, or it's in your genes, it's in your soul. They want you to think of goodness and evil as immaterial vibes, right? Like based on how you were born, the class you're in of innate traits. Not the class you're in based on actual power and money, but innate traits like being white, being black, being LGBT, being straight and cis. It doesn't matter. So what matters above actual power and class and actual harm is you, how you were born, right? And what you really do or the power, it does not matter because those characteristics make you good. So that's how Germans in Nazism were able to like literally not care most of the bankers were Aryan. They're still good. And the evil that is done, and how what evil is starts to take on a new level, a new fucked up definition. Evil is only working against the system, right? So like despite the fact most bankers were Aryan, they're not concerned with how they harmed them. Only the Jew, and invariably their attention's focused to the weakest people, the most impoverished Jews in ghettos. And they come to believe the evil is secret and hidden. The way you people believe my white supremacy is secret and hidden. You can't see it. Even if it looks like I'm helping people and motivated by doing good for people, it gives me a satisfaction. And it's very evident I live my life more than others, like not seeking power for myself and like wanting to sacrifice so people are better. It's like I have a secret evil. It's you can't see it. It's in my makeup, right? And that's what Nazis believed about Jews. So like even when they're going to the ghettos and they see like a little kid with like a yarmulke and side locks and he's just poor, he's trying to go to yeshiva school, they're like, you in your soul can only be a banker and destroy the Aryan. You'll do something. You'll get into entertainment. You'll become a lawyer, and you can only do one thing: harm us. It's in who you. It's in your makeup. It's secret. They make the victims of fascist psychology be preoccupied with a secret evil, like witch hunts in proper um, religious right societies. It's got to be secret because only through the secrecy of the evil can they justify attacking weak people, scapegoating them, and getting a huge power high, having the power let them do that, right? Both the power high of going after the weak, but also the spiritual religious delusion, it's justice, right? It has to be a secret evil, because going after real evil is less gratifying. If your goal is feeling uplifted as a magical, powerful being, going after real evil is less gratifying. And that mind fuck, the power sets this up. We're going after secret evil and purging it, so that you feel both powerful targeting the weak, but top layer in your mind telling yourself it's actually justice. That's a huge component of fascism. That's why in Nazi Germany, they didn't go after bankers. They went after the poorest Jews in ghettos. And they're preoccupied with the eternal Jew, who's a secret evil, right? And of the Aryans, which there were many more who were bankers, no, they can't be good because they're part of the good class. Their evil is influence of the eternal Jew, right? And the most evil, because again, it stops mattering what you do. Social factors stop mattering totally in favor of these religious brained magical classes you have faith in. When the Aryans do become bankers, it's entirely the influence of the secret evil of the eternal Jew. You see how that works? It's basically an agreement to stop caring what is really done into this religious brained faith-like system. I'm good, you're evil, and the power, we depend on them for everything to keep this wonderful society where I'm floating. A halo of light surrounds me because I was born good, right? And I could like do such evil even to other good people, but it's never my fault. It's the influence of the eternal whatever. It's never my fault because I can't be. I'm the oppressed eternal good. And the eternal whatever is the only villain that we must purge. And invariably, we're not even concerned with the most powerful members of the eternal bad class. We're preoccupied with a secret evil in a powerless person. If you think that, you're fascist. You have no, you're so far away from any form of progressivism that you are literally far right. And these people think like, well, that can't be true because I hate Nazis and I like minorities and LGBT people. It's like, that doesn't matter. You could take Aryan and replace it with Black, Hispanic, Muslim, LGBT. You could take Jew and replace it with a new class you make up called Nazi. But it's just as divorced from reality in the sense you're taking people who kind of vaguely fit this, like the class of Jew in Nazi Germany was not actually a person who practices Judaism. Does that make sense? The class of Jew in Nazi Germany was not someone who actually practices Judaism. It was merely like that was a trigger for being put in the class. The class of Jew in Nazi Germany were people who conspire in secret to oppress the Aryans. That's what the class of Jew was in fascism. It's like fascism depends on a religious brained psychology, same as a Christian feudal system, where it's like you just have to have faith in these things, right? Like they're a Jew, and the conception of Jew to a religious brained post-industrial feudal system prole in Nazi Germany is not somebody who practices. It's a member of a group who's in secret and you can't see it, conspiring to destroy the Aryan, the eternal good oppressed. You can just as well make a class of Nazi evil so secret you can't see it. You have to have faith it's there, and you're doing good justice work purging them. You, the good, eternally oppressed class, minorities, LGBT people, right? They the faith in the classes as eternally good and eternally evil, and the creation of a scapegoat class where only some vague, hazy overlap exists. Like, okay, we're calling the all bad class Jewish, so people who practice Judaism are then going to take on all these other characteristics that have nothing to do with them. And in my case, like the Nazi class, the fact I had a mental health breakdown in 2019, 18 is now why I'm being placed in this class. It doesn't matter how I live my life is nothing like a Nazi. It doesn't matter I've lived my life actually working for equity, real equity, and I'm a progressive. They don't care because of the nature of fascism, a religious brain feudal delusion. where immortality, eternality, this, right? They don't care, like, the actual triggers for you to think, as long as you agree to these things. And it all boils down to this: preserve class, cement them. What you have is because you're immortally good or immortally evil. And above all else, the glowing, divine, eternally reincarnating, eternally immortal elites give us everything, everything, and must be protected. You can make a fascist cult with progressive delusions, and that's exactly what this is. And real progressives, which don't exist anymore really, but real progressives would clock you. Like, you're basically keeping the elite oppressor in power. You're starting to agree inequality is necessary, a divine good for the good people we have to help, and the oppressor is going to help us save the born good people. And this class we created, eternal nausea, where only some vague overlap is why we put them in this class that needs to be purged, because they have secret evil that's harming us. Like, yeah, you're all fascist. Like, you have no, your overlap with progressivism is literally like, in a way, I think these people are more fascist than MAGA, in the sense, at least MAGA, while they are absolutely fascist, MAGA is less far right than them, because at least part of the MAGA delusion is stopping evil elites. there's an element of progressivism in the MAGA delusion. It's just like maybe 75% fat. These people are 0% progressive. They don't believe in any elites they have to stop. They believe in a secret evil, invariably a powerless people who control society nefariously. Just their existence is creating their everything bad for them. And they don't have to ask for evidence of crimes. Like, it's just, you have to have faith in it. Like, they have a secret evil. It's secret, and that's why you have to purge them. And the elites are good in helping you do it. Like, there's literally no element in terms of power conceptualization in this cult that is even slightly left. Whereas MAGA has that at the top layer, a little bit scratch, like, yeah, we're going to get rid of these evil elites, and the bottom's going to get stuff. Like, they don't have that. Not even a little tiny bit. And I think that's part of the CIA mind control trick, is like, these people think they're progressive, but they're actually, of all the CIA's cults, both MAGA and this one's much more fascist. There's literally no elements of them wanting to make elites pay, because of the fact they're mostly concerned with this into this. No element. They literally draw this on stuff. They want to keep the power where it is. And the main concern with Google Revolution is being the new special eternally oppressed class that can do no wrong, and the only evil that is done is the work of the eternal Nazi, making them do it. And really, they don't even care about actual acts, if they're good or not. Mostly betrayal to the cause, and looking for secret evil they have to hunt out and purge. Like, they're way more fascist than MAGA, in the sense, well, MAGA is certainly fascist. A lot of MAGAs got into it because of really being really ignorant and wanting a progressive power restructuring where the evil elites lose their privilege. There's no part of that in this group, none whatsoever. They view the evil elites with privilege as the poorest white people, because again, they're psychologically fascist. Just like in Germany, they weren't preoccupied with the Aryan bankers who actually took their house. They were preoccupied with, like, the secret privilege, the secret nefarious control of society of the eternal Jew, who invariably is circled back to a ghetto of some little kid. That's like these people. These people think that the power over them is a powerless person with a secret evil. They're completely fascist, down to the fact they serve people with real power and are delusionally high based on a class they were born into, completely divorced of what they've really done in their lives. And the people placed in the class of Nazi, which is like the class of Jew in Germany in the sense there's only some vague overlap, but then you come to take on a cartoonish religious villain like quality like Satan, and the secrecy of the work is there, like the way Christians are like Satan's work is everywhere. You have to be on guard of who's Satan and get rid, like that's how fascists think, because it's basically a feudal religious brain delusion, and the secrecy of the evil is how they substantiate targeting weak people and attributing them this nefarious quality to harm and destroy. MAGA is less fascist than Google Revolution. At least there's a part of MAGA, some of them, in the beginning, where they have vague progressive ideas of making actual powerful people lose power. These people are like, no, those people are wholly divine, incarnating. The evil with power is this nurse who got on the floor to do CPR on COVID. She's secretly harming me in the eternal Nazi class. These people are way more fascist. I find that like the most fascist brain cult of all is the one who thinks it's progressive. You like people saying the CIA is inept or has been inept are either stupid or that's cover for how they control so many people so well you can't even think past what they've done. That's the part I marvel at. Like, can you believe they took the last dying gasp of progressivism and made them more fascist than MAGA? Because they're so brainwashed, so controlled, so ignorant, they don't know what fascism really